Hello, everyone. I'm just going to test some features. Don't know, not that many of my videos are polished, but this one will probably be less polished even than normal because I'm just testing Alpha 5.1 for Payoff Pitch PC baseball. And Dana's put some really good things in here. And I think that's awesome. That I think are awesome. He's put some really good things in here that I think are awesome. So sorry, I'm just trying to check out so I can follow the chat here. Trying to get this loaded onto my screen. So let me share the screen. Man, there's just so much good things going on with this game. And again, just a reminder: this is testing alpha version 5.1. I'm more of a my plan with this is to use it more as a board game companion. Although it has some pretty nice features if you're like a true PC player and you want to like a I guess a port is what they're calling it, like a kind of a replication of the cards and dice situation, but with digital dice and all that stuff. Um, a lot of that's built in here, so I like that too. But I'm more of a board game companion guy, so I've been testing out some of those features. So I'll share my screen. So you're probably not gonna be able to see it, but I'm probably over here in the lower right hand corner. There's probably a little picture of me. So um, let me look at the. You can probably see it a little bit as I'm staring at myself here on my phone. Yeah, you can see that they have hotkeys, which I'm a keyboard guy, and Dana has put in some hotkeys, and you can make your own hotkeys. Let me get this back to the chat. So I'm not sure what I was coming through, but you can see for the pitch, I have a P here, and for an intentional walk an I, for Toronto a 1. So I just press, if I want to actually throw the pitch, I press the P on my keyboard, and you control that if under game option under hotkeys. So to create the play, which comes across as the payoff pitch button, I've made that a P on my keyboard. To end the play, you do an E. And you can create these. So if you instead, I would love for this to be the Dave Gardner asked for this to be the space bar, which doesn't look like that's possible. I would love for it to be the enter key as options, but that's not an option right now. So what I've done is I just type in a P there. And so now P is the hotkey for when I want to throw the pitch in the game. So you can see this little P in parentheses right there. That's what that does. So I'm using the start anywhere feature, which I think is the coolest feature of Payoff PC. And there's a lot of cool features to it, but I use the jump ahead or start anywhere feature is what it's actually called. And what I did was I started on October 4th, 1987, which was the last day of the season. Um, Basically, what was set up here was Toronto and Detroit was a winner take all for the division. Um, so I did that start anywhere feature, and what it was Toronto held the tiebreaker. So if they won the game, they would end in a tie with Detroit, but they held the tiebreaker. I think is what that was. For some reason, this was a winner take all game. So I've played the first two innings out, and I've been sending the guys that are helping test some messages, just kind of things I'm asking and looking for and recommending. So I thought I'd just get on a YouTube and do a quick, do a stream to show off some of the not show off, but ask some of the questions that I'm asking and ask for some of the features that I'm asking for. And also, some of this I think I play as directed in the instructions for payoff pitch, but I don't know that I'm actually playing it correctly, although I think I am. I always try to do that. So that could be part of of things that I don't understand, which there's very little, um, that could be part of the issue as well. So let's just show off some of these. You can see we're picking up the action here in the top of the third. It's been a really good game so far. If you want to review, you can click the plays. So this is kind of what happened over here, which is pretty cool. The in the box score, you can do play results. You can filter by the half inning that you want. So just to kind of recap that first half inning. So here's the first play. You can see that the batter was Nelson Loriano over against Frank Tanana. If you hover over it, so you highlight the play up here, and then oh no, I hate when this happens. It's a little bug. Um, that this card is never going to go away now. I don't think. So I'm actually glad it's happening when I'm streaming because maybe Danny can see this, but I don't think this card is ever going to go away. Maybe if I close it, no, this card is going to live here. I'm gonna just hide it off. But then you have this little shaded in area here. So I'm glad that maybe Dana will see this. Um, but anyway, back in the box score area, if you click on play results, you can click on the different plays up here, and then down here, it'll give you the details. So the one that I really wanted to show off is here in the top of the first. You can see that Lariano is the hitter, and he gets a single, and then there's a fly out to right field, and then there's a ground out to the third baseman. The double play check failed, so it was a fielder's choice out at second. So there's a runner on first, and then Juan Beniquez, and I'm not familiar with this player. Um, Not a home run hitter, but he hit a big home run here, and this highlights what happens, but this will walk you through. So you can see the 2D6, the pitcher's rolled an 11. So if I hover over Frank Tanana's card here, you can see an 11 is a wheelhouse. And then the batter's roll was an 18. So if I look at Beniquez, an 18 in his wheelhouse, both against lefty and a righty, is a home run. So he got a huge 2-run home run here. And so that put Toronto up, and Detroit has fought back, and it looks like that card has gone away now. So that's good. Because in my previous testing, that black area that was here would just stay here the whole game. So I'm glad that that's gone away. So Detroit has fought back. It's a 2-2 game. We're going into the top of the third. So I'm going to use my hotkey here, and I'm going to press P. And then I'm rolling the dice. So the pitcher's roll, we got a 7. So this lets you enter it in. And you can see it hovers over here that it's in play, and Tanana's a lefty. So now I'm going to roll my batter's roll, and I rolled a 50. So an in play 50, you can see that is that against a lefty, it's greater than any of the hits. So it's going to be an L6. So when I put this in here, you can see that it highlights the L6 here. So I can click enter to continue, which I really like because like I said, I'm a keyboard guy. So let's go P for the next one. And the pitcher's roll is a 10, which is patient. And I rolled a 19. So a patient 19 against a lefty, you can see that's a single. Now, what I'm looking at before I hit continue here, which is just enter on my keyboard, Liriano's steal rating is a 6. So my understanding of the way the game is instructed is that you use this 2D6 roll to get that jump. So he's not going to check the jump. So the way I play, I would just use this roll. I think the instructions are pretty clear, the written instructions that you use that roll. Regardless, so is the way that I would play it. But here you're going to have to make an extra roll. So I'm going to continue here. So the way I play it, this 10 is greater than his steal rating of 6, so he would not get the jump. But we can see that there's just this extra row, and I think that's probably the way a lot of guys play it anyway, which is probably why Dana built it in here. To me, it's too many rolls, um, but we had to make this additional roll here. Um, so I rolled a 6, so he's going to get the jump. So now his steal rating is a B, and the catcher's arm is a C. I think it would be nice so I can see the catcher's arm rating. Um, according to the catcher's arm rating is a 2, and which it's nice that I can see this. I'm a very visual guy. I would like to be able to see, um, which I guess, yeah, Loriano's card to see that B, that he's a B. It's nice that I can see the catcher that he's a 2 here. And I can even hover over his card. I can't see the whole card, but that's just a little bit of a thing that I would like. I don't know how important that is. I don't know. One thing that I would love would be able to see, well, then what role do I need to get that still to be successful, just to build a little bit of drama. So but what I'm going to do is, and I guess I could look at my charts because I have those charts um, offline. I could look at those, but I rolled a 92, and it comes up that is a safe roll. So it's going to pop over to the screen, and I don't know the name of what it's called, but it's called. But you can see he's now safe. So now let's do the pitch. So now we do the sack bunt rating again. I thought the sack bunt rating would be the pitcher's role in the instructions. The sack bunt rating you use, and again, I could be playing this wrong, but it's not a roll for the sack bunt and a roll for the pitcher's roll. It those are if you get a 2 or a 12, because you can see Mosby's sack bunt rating numbers are 2 and 12. The way I play it is when I do the pitcher's roll, if I get a 2 or if I get a 12, then it would be a bunt check. But probably the way most people are playing it, and maybe it's the right way. But nevertheless, the way that Dana has built this in is I do an additional roll here. So I'm going to roll and I get a 5. And you can see that there is no bunt. So now we just move on, and I get, yeah. So now we got to do the pitcher's roll of a 4, and a 4 is going to be a patient. And now we do the batter's roll, and that's a 90. So a patient 90 against a lefty is going to be a grounder to second base. So now we'll have a double play check. So it's a ground out. And I got a little confused on this. This could totally be something that I'm doing wrong, or maybe I think this is something that I've never done quite right. Um, when I'm checking for the double play, I'm just going to roll this out. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I think it's probably me, but I'm going to roll. Says ground out is fielded by second base. Runner on second base is 1 out. Used for special cases only. Example 5/6 exception. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. 37. So runner advancement check is what I guess I'm doing here. There's a runner on second base. I guess I wouldn't have been checking because the runner is on second base. I wouldn't really be checking for the double play. So maybe that's what's going on. So I rolled a 10. 11 and 12. Yeah, it tells me here that the runner was on second base. So runner on second base advances to third base. The batter is out at first. I think I just got myself turned around on that one. So let's go ahead and do the next one. George Bell here against Tanana. So the pitchers roll. I wrote a 6, which is going to be a tough. And you can see over here 1 through 45 on the batter's roll. This is what I like. I just like looking at the cards before. So this is beautiful right here. Some of this I think maybe confuses me, although I'm kind of getting used to it. 18. So we can see. Actually, it would only been a 38 through 45 because 1 through 37 is a strikeout. So 18 is a strikeout. I might try a few different options in a little bit just to show that. I'll play this half inning at the bottom of the third here, maybe a little more without talking my way through it here. So I got a 9. We can see that's going to be a patient roll. Patient 31 against the lefty is going to be a walk. His steal rating is a 3, or his jump rating is a 3. So going to roll the 2-12 for that. I got a 2. So now we get the steal attempt. And again, we can see that his steal rating is a C. He's going against a catcher's arm of 4. So it would just be nice to see what I needed to get to be successful instead of just rolling the dice and it telling me. And I guess I could always get my chart out because I have the charts and that would show me. So it's probably what I would do if I was playing this. If I wasn't on camera, I would get my charts out. But let's roll this and see what happens. 38, and that tells me that 38 is safe. So now it's going to jump over to that screen, and he's going to be safe. So now I got a runner on second, and you can see it put Whitaker here on second. 0 outs right here. So we're going to check for the bunt. His bunt, I need a 2 through 3 or an 11. And I got a 4, so there's not going to be a bunt. So now we roll for the pitcher's roll. I rolled an 8. It's going to be tough. And 55. Tough 55 is going to be over in the out section. And that's going to be a grounder to third. With only 0 outs and a runner on second. It's my understanding that remembering the rules that I think you have to be a 6 or maybe a 7 or better to advance there in that situation. I'd have to look it up. I would like to be able to see like Whitaker's. Oh, good. I can hover over here and I can see that he's a 6. So I don't know if he's going to, I don't think, I feel like you have to be a 7 or better, but then I also seem like it has to be a 6 or better. So we'll see. And maybe that's what this is here. So I wrote a 20. And then I roll these 2d12. I got an 11. 11 or 12 only plays at first base. Runners advance. So I'm a little confused because this right here says roll 11 to 12. The only players at first base, runners advance. But then this line says runner on second base holds. Batter out at first base. So again, we're just testing here. I don't know if that's a bug or something that I'm not understanding about the game. So I'm just showing some of this stuff here. All right, Jimmy Key rolled an 8, which is a tough. It was actually a sack bunt roll, and there wouldn't be a sack bunt here because his bunt rating is just a 2 for Kirk Gibson. That's one good thing about PC games is it for me. Um, it helps me realize I make mistakes a lot when I'm playing offline. I think PC games are probably actually more accurate because you take out that human error part. So if I had been playing offline, I would have forgotten to check for the button here because I'm an auto, manager type of guy. So I would have forgotten to check for that button, and I would have used the 8 as a tough. And I may get a tough result when I roll for the pitcher's roll anyway, and it evens out, but maybe not. So let's see. I got a 3, which is going to be a defense check. Which this is a pretty cool feature because now um, using the fact cards, the facts for defense checks. So I'm gonna flip the fact, and you can see I'm looking at the right fielder's range rating. So the range, I would love to be able to see, and maybe I'm just missing it, but I would love to be able to see, and I guess I kind of can right here. Jesse Barfield, his range is a B. This is kind of trying. This black background here is transparent, so if I look in right field, I can see a B. But that's only if it was a middle infielder or the pitcher, I wouldn't be able to see it, or really any of these infielders wouldn't be able to see it. And I don't know if it's even coming through on the camera, but I can see Barfield's range is a B. So that's going to tell me I'm looking at 1 through 28. It's going to for a hit here. Let's see what I get. And I rolled a 10, so let's see what happens. So that tells me that a 10, so the range is a B that I'm going against, but it doesn't tell me the filter here or anything like that. So it tells me that that's a hit. So now I need to flip the fact to determine what type of hit it is. And we can see that it's a single. Runner on second would score, so Whitaker should score. Um, if there was a runner on first, he would just get one base. And runner on second scores. You can see that runner on second scores, and Gibson holds up here with a single. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get the steal check for Gibson. And it looks like Kirk Gibson's steal check. This is telling me his jump rating is a 5. So I need to roll a 5 or less. And I got a 3. So his steal rating is a B. He's going against the catcher's arm of 4. So he has an excellent chance of getting this steal. And I rolled a 79, which is safe. So another stolen base. Now we're doing the sack bunt chance. According to this tells you here, he gets a 2. But I love how I can just look over here and see it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just weird. I like to see. I don't like to just be told what it is over here. I like to be able to see it on the cards too. Um, so let's see what I get. I got a 6, so he won't be bunting. Pitcher's roll for Jimmy Key. I rolled a 10, which is going to be a patient result. And the batter's result is a 76. So patient 76 against a lefty is a fly out to center field with only 1 out and a runner on second against patient. According to the rules, I believe, and I don't have my charts here that I normally use. I think that's a deep fly. So he would tag up and go to third. But let's see what happens here. So I said I wrote a 76. Okay, so it tells me that Kirk Gibson on second base is a run of 6. It asked me, do I want to try to advance to third base? Runner on 6 arm. Runner on the run rating is a 6. The arm rating is a 9. So I can see Mosby's 9 here. So safe if the 2d6 is less than both 6 and 9. Out if it's greater. Out if 2d6 is greater than both. And if it's between a 6 and 9, so yeah, if it's greater than 9, it's an out. If it is less than 6, he's safe. Otherwise, if it's between 6 and 9, then we use the chart. I'm going to just try. I like getting that runner on third with less than 2 outs. Actually, that I think the fly out was I got to refresh myself here. I've talked so much. I don't remember what's going on. It's a fly ball, and I think that's the second out. I don't think this is going to populate yet, so I think there's 2 outs. So less than 6, he's safe. Greater than 9, he's out. It's unlikely that he would, you know, I'd have to roll a 10, 11, or 12. Um, that runner on third, if it was going to be less than 2 outs, I would risk it, but I'm not going to risk it. So I just said continue, and I guess the out button did populate here. Let's see what happened. I think I just clicked continue, and I don't know what happened, if it froze up or what on me. So I guess I will call that a video. Let me just stop it here and talk a little bit, although I've been talking a ton. I believe this has stopped sharing. There's lots of good things. Really a lot of good things in here, and I see World's Worst Gamer commented. Can't wait to play the finished product in the future. I can't either. It's come so far just from when I started testing. I wasn't in the very beginning testing, but they did reach out to me a few months back, several months back, and asked if I wanted to test, and I was like, sure. And so I tested a lot up front, and then the last few months, life has been kind of busy, and I haven't been testing. But then Dana reached out and was like, "Hey, I'll send you this. Whatever you can do, great, no pressure." So I had some time this weekend, and I've done some testing, and was putting in our testing chat just a lot of these things. So I wanted to just talk my way through. I've taken about 30 minutes, lots of good stuff. I think this is going to be a great product that everybody's going to love. I'm more of a board game companion mode type of guy, so I plan to use it as a board game companion pretty much. Although it actually plays really well as like when I say actually, it's not that I wasn't expecting that. It's just I wasn't expecting myself to like the kind of the video game part of it, and I actually really like that as well, which is surprising. Not because the quality is good, it's just surprising that I liked it. I normally don't like that, but I've really enjoyed that in the ones that I've played it in, because it really comes. It's set up to, as you're playing the video game version, is what I'm going to call it, where you're just kind of you're not rolling dice or manually entering anything. You're just playing it. That's set up really nicely right now, and I think that's really far along, and it's fun to play, and I enjoy that. So keeping it, I guess, under 30 minutes. I'm going to stop there, probably play a little bit more, have some dinner, and have a long work week ahead. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.